What's up, YouTube? It's Blake back again with yet another video. This one's going to be on how I got into bullion / now it's more numismatics than it is bullion. But yeah, this is going to be how I got into coins in general. And even paper money, because I collect a little bit of that too. Just more coins than paper money, which, I mean, I'm sure you guys understand if you're collectors, you know. But let me take a sip of this water. So it started out, I started watching Silver Dragons on YouTube. That was the first channel I really found. Well, really, honestly, it had to be Pawnbroker Pickers. I started watching his stuff and started seeing him buying silver. And then I, typed in silver on YouTube, and of course, the biggest silver YouTuber, Silver Dragon, comes up. Silver Dragons. And I've been following Silver Dragons for like 3 years. And silver was like 25, 30 bucks an ounce then. It might have been, I can't remember, somewhere around in there. And I was like, man, that's too much. Now's not the time. And, I'd watch his videos periodically. There was like a couple of months where I was seriously considering it, but didn't really know where to start as far as buying bullion. There's a lot more opportunity out there on where to buy it now and where to get it, and education on where to get it. But then, I was going to sdbullion.com and really didn't want to pay the high premiums, to be honest. When I seen what an ounce was going for and it was so much higher, I just really didn't know where to begin. I was kind of overwhelmed with information, and before you knew it, I was, on to something else. But it was still in the back of my mind. The seed had been planted. Fast forward about 2 years, it's still in the back of my mind, but I have yet to buy a piece of bullion. January hits, and a couple of months later, we file taxes, and I end up getting a little bit of tax money. And before we ever got it, I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go buy my first ounce. I'm going to check this pawn shop here in Statesboro and see if they got any silver. And they did. They had a silver buffalo. They had a whole stack of them, like 20. And I had like 700 bucks, and I was thinking, well, should I get them all? The wife might think I'm a bit crazy if I do. So I said, no, I'll start with one. And I bought an ounce there. And I started researching coin shops. And I don't know why I overlooked the coin shop for a long period of time. And one day I walk into a pawn shop in Statesboro. I'm thinking about going down there to Miller's Coins and Currency in Savannah. I'm seeing them on Google. They got good reviews, and it's really not that far. And the guys in the pawn shop kind of misled me into not going. And I regret not going and seeing for myself. And fast forward, I'm seeing my wife finds a Sylvania auction. Lonnie, shout out Lonnie. Good dude. Me and dude's tight now. Like, if I go up there, I don't know. I love the auction environment. And that's kind of, first I went to the auction, I won a few pieces of silver there. And a guy in the crowd, he's like, have you ever been down there to Miller's Coins and Currency? And by this time I had stacked up, I was almost at 10 ounces, I think, buying them here and there randomly where I could find silver. And the pawn shop didn't always have silver. Usually they do. If you go to a pawn shop, they're going to have something. But it's not going to be that fairly valued. Maybe it is fair compared to certain places, because I have heard certain people paying over spot at a coin shop, which I hate to say it, that's just not me, unless it's a super numismatic coin with numismatic value. So, now I'm getting pointed in the direction of the coin shop. I'm on Whatnot too at this point. I'm ordering on Whatnot like crazy. And that's not really smart, because you're paying more than you're going to pay on Whatnot than you would in a pawn shop, to be honest. I mean, if you add up shipping, you add up other people driving your bid up, you're just usually not going to get fair deals. Now, I'm not going to say they cannot be found or whatnot, because I have got good deals. I've got silver at spot on there. I've seen like seated 50-cent pieces that were chop marked. I seen one go for $65 one time. I happened to be working. My wife was looking at the channel, and so was I, and I seen it go. I was thinking bid, but I'm in a work call and can't tell her that, you know. Yeah, a seated $half. I can't remember what year it was, but it was chop marked, which you don't see many seated halves with a Chinese chop mark on it. And it was wood or coin running it, so you know it was legit. I mean, that's like the biggest coin shop in America, you know. But yeah, so I keep going. Finally, I make the drive down there. I walk in a pawn shop at first. They got some buffaloes, and something in my gut's like, listen, you're going to Miller's Coins and Currency today. Today's the day. You know, I feel it in my gut. I walk into the pawn shop. They're like, yeah, we got these buffaloes. We'll sell them to you at spot. I'm like, nah, I might come back for them. And I'm asking my wife on the way to get the cash. I'm still not listening to my gut. I'm like, should I go back and buy these 10 buffaloes, or should I keep going? I'm like, something in my gut's telling me to go. She said, well, if your gut's telling you to go down there to the coin shop. So I run into Walmart. You know, I like to do it in cash usually. Speaking of it, there's a whole nother story. I was dealing with a whole nother shop. They tell me when you buy bullion, if you use a card, they got to tax 3% on, which is bullshit. Sorry to say it, but it is. Because I asked at Miller's, like, after I've been dealing with them for a month, is that true? No, it's not true. Whatever you swipe on your card, whatever you pay cash, it should be the same. I still like to spend cash. I mean, a coin shop's going to like cash better anyway, so if you can, just go by the bank and get the cash out. Do that favor for them. You know, cash is a little bit better. Cash is king at the end of the day, especially to us old school people. You know what I'm saying? We got that old school way of thinking. But yeah, I go down there to Miller's that day, and I get silver cheaper than I've ever got it. And I didn't get buffaloes. I got silver Britannias, exactly what I wanted, below spot. Like $1 under, I think, or something like that. I bought like 9 or 10 of them. They had me right there. They was reeling me in slowly. Plus, I mean, who the freak would pay over spot for something they didn't want when you can go down there and get almost anything you want? Well, now the want for me has kind of grew since I found a coin shop. I'm no longer buying bullion. If I'm buying bullion, it's piece or Morgan dollars, because that's what I like. That's what I prefer. I'd rather have that. I can get them pretty much the same price, so why not get a Morgan dollar? That's just me, you know. Yeah, the eagles are pretty, but why would I buy a silver eagle when I can buy a Morgan dollar that was minted in the 1800s by the good old US of A? Tell me, why would I do that? I'm going to go for the Morgans all day, especially for the fair price on them. But that's how I got into bullion. Now, there was a few other steps along the way. Now, I went to a We Buy Gold store in Rankin, Georgia. And I will say, I can't think of the name of the shop or the gentleman's name, but he's a good guy. He told me, this is what he said. I said, he asked me straight up when he seen how, because I went to him for a couple of weeks straight. And this dude was cool about it. He was like, man, he said, I see how much you like it. Have you been down to Miller's Coins and Currency? So this was the second time I had heard about him. I said, man, the pawn shop in Statesboro, you know, they told me that the staff was rude, or they told me some kind of bull crap. They said, oh, we heard, you know, the staff was rude from somebody. That's bull crap. That's the nicest staff I've met. Nicer than any pawn shop you're going to go to. Me and Roman message back and forth all day. We're good buddies now. We both like pals and we both like bullying. So that was a complete lie from the Statesboro pawn shop. But the other pawn shop guy was kind of pushing me in that direction. Speaking of it, I need to go by and see him. Because, there were 3 people who kind of put me on it. And then when I knew I was in the right spot, the day I went to buy bullion, the dude who owns the auction, Lonnie, was in there. I was like, man, if this ain't a sign, I don't know what is. I listened to my gut. I come in there, a buddy of mine's in there, Mr. Lonnie. And I'm like, man, this is meant to be. And I kind of feel like Lonnie put me on too. He's like, I know this guy. This is a good dude. He comes to my auction. And that right there, I felt like Lonnie plugged me in then. So I'm always going to honor Lonnie in every way I can. I mean, dude's the truth. You know what I mean? I can sit there and Lonnie's a busy dude like myself. But man, I could talk to Mr. Lonnie all day. But yeah, that's my story of how I got into bullying. Ran into a few good people that pointed me in the right direction. And now these people are going to be lifelong friends, And it's awesome. The bullying community, not only is it going to come with you investing your money into something amazing, the numismatic community, you're investing your money into something amazing, but you're meeting so many amazing people along the way with the same way of thinking that you have. You want to invest your money. You want to see your money invested into something cool, and it's something you can hold in your hand. When you hold an AU55 trade dollar graded by PCGS in your hand, there's no better feeling when you hold a deep mirror proof like 84 Carson City in your hand. And you're looking at it in a GSA holder, and you got it for a deal. And you're looking at it, and it's so beautiful. That mirror finish on it. There's nothing like that in this world to me. Knowing that I invested my money into that. And I got friends in New York that do bullying there. They're like, man, I'll send them a picture of what I got. When I got the trade dollar that day, he's like, man, I'll give you so-and-so. Man, it ain't for sale. Maybe one day it will be, but not for now. So go out. If there's something you feel in your gut right now to do, if that's buying a piece of bullion, buying a piece of land, buying a pow-pow, chicka-chicka wow-wow, whatever it is, go out and do it, man. Live your dreams. Don't let nothing stop you. Don't let nobody stop you. Mr. Joey Ashley, I want to thank you for running the best shop in Georgia. Lonnie, dude, you already know what it is. Roman, brother, I appreciate you. Everybody at the shop, I appreciate you. Man, y'all go out and live your dreams. And I can't wait for these interviews upcoming. But yeah, that's my story on how I got into bullying. And I got a couple of cool pieces from the auction too. Man, y'all go check out the Sylvania auction bar, man. Hey, y'all might just see me up there running some stuff out to people. You know what I mean? I love that. I love auctions so much, dude. I just like to come in there and be around the environment. It's an honor just to be in there and not having to sit down. I can get up and pass things out. I love doing that, bro. I love it. Just like a dude, I don't know, man. I like coins so much. It's awesome to be in the presence of it. Not only that, I try to put off good energy to people. I want to see people go in there and buy bullion, sell bullion, trade. You know what I mean? It's a place of trade. And it's something that America's gotten so far from. The trade system, buy, sell, trade. What happened to that, man? I started to walk up to the fruit stand down the road from here and be like, hey, man, try to get him into bullion. Look, dude, I got this silver dime. I'll give you a silver dime for $5 worth of peaches, and explain to them the story behind it. And I might just make a video trying to do that. Who knows? Maybe they run me off. Who cares? Maybe I created, a thought right there in their mind, and they end up a part of the community, and that becomes a lifelong friend. You never know. You never know unless you try it. But y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good night. That's my story on how I got into bullying, y'all. And I'm out.